So far we have discussed 6 problems which are of moderate standard and 11 problems which are of easy standard. Now there are 8 problems in this paper which we can say a little bit tough, above average, above moderate level. Okay, let us see those questions now. A question देखिए. A polarizer analyzer set is adjusted such that the intensity of light coming out of the analyzer is just 10% of the original intensity. Assuming that the polarizer analyzer set does not absorb any light, the angle by which the analyzer need to be rotated further to reduce the output intensity to be 0 is. This is from wave optics polarization. In fact, conceptually it is easy, but why I categorize this into difficult? इसका simplification में थोड़ा दिक्कत आती है. So there is a polarizer and a analyzer set, Polaroid, what we call. And whatever intensity is going inside, only 10% of the intensity is coming out. It is given in this situation. So let us say this angle between the polarizer and analyzer is phi. Now by applying the Malus law, the intensity coming out of the analyzer I is equal to I naught cos square phi. But the intensity coming out is only 10% of the incoming intensity and nothing is absorbed in the system. So whatever I naught is entering, from that I naught, a 10% of I naught is coming out. That means what is coming out? 10% of I naught means I naught by 10 is equal to I naught cos square phi. This gives cos square phi is equal to 1 by 10 or 0.1, or cos phi is equal to square root of 0.1 comes to somewhere around 0.316. So with the given data we found out initially what is the angle between the polarizer and analyzer. अभी नेक्स्ट क्या है? नेक्स्ट फर्दर ये पूछा गया और कितना एंगल से इसको घुमाना पड़ेगा ताकि फाइनल इंटेंसिटी जो बाहर आता है वो 0 हो जाए, नलिफाई हो जाए. हमको ये मालूम है इस फॉर्मूला में, मालस लॉ में, और दोनों के बीच में एंगल 90 हो जाएगा तो cos square 90 0 हो जाएगा, cos square 90 वैल्यू 0 हो जाएगा. So nothing will come out. That situation we call it as polarizer and analyzer, they are crossed 90 degrees. The transmission axis of these two are at 90 degrees to each other. मतलब अभी ये एंगल को हमको 90 minus 5 इतना घुमाना पड़ेगा. उतना घुमाने से फिर दोनों परपेंडिकुलर हो जाएगा, nothing will come out. लेकिन इसमें प्रॉब्लम है ये इस पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू का करस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल हम फाइंड आउट नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन इसको फिर कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं यहाँ देखिएगा. वी नो cos 45 is 1 by root 2 whose value is 0.707. That we should remember. Okay, and here you see 0.316 is less than 0.707 and this corresponds to cos 45 and this corresponds to our angle cos phi. So in case of cosine function the relation is, in this case phi is greater than 45. So the initial angle between the polarizer and analyzer is greater than 45 degrees. तो हमको और कितना इसको घुमाना पड़ेगा? 90 minus phi घुमाना पड़ेगा. The angle to be rotated, let us say it is theta. Theta is equal to 90 minus phi. If phi is greater than 45, then naturally theta is less than 45. इसमें ऑप्शंस अभी देखते हैं. ऑप्शन 1 दिया 18.4, ऑप्शन 2 दिया 71.6, ऑप्शन 3 दिया 45, ऑप्शन 4 90 डिग्रीज. तो इससे हमको स्ट्रेट अवे पता चल जाता है एक ही ऑप्शन है जिसमें एंगल लेस देन 45 दिया है. So that is 18.4. So correct answer is the angle to be rotated through is 18.4 degrees. इसी लेवल में अगला क्वेश्चन देखिए, a beam of electromagnetic radiation of intensity 6.4 into 10 to the power minus 5 watts per centimeter square is comprised of wavelength lambda is equal to 310 nanometers. It falls normally on a metal of work function 2 electron volts of surface area of 1 centimeter square. If 1 in 10 cube photons ejects an electron, total number of electrons ejected in 1 second is 10 power x. What is the value of x? This is an integer value type question. It is given that Hc is equal to 1240 eV/nm, electron volt nanometer, and 1 eV is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. So here a photon flux is falling, intensity is given. So what is the total energy that is imparted by the falling photons? We have to calculate in a given time. First of all, let us calculate the energy of each photon, and first we have to ascertain that whether photoelectric effect is taking at all or not. Okay, you must have got it by now. This question is from dual nature, photoelectric effect. So energy of each photon is Hc by lambda, and Hc it is given that 1240 eV/nm, and lambda is 340 nanometers. 310 nanometers. So this will give you 4 eV. This is the energy of each photon, whereas the work function is given as 2 eV of the metal. That means the energy of each photon is greater than the work function. So photoelectric effect takes place. ये फोटोन absorb करने के बाद इलेक्ट्रॉन्स निकलेंगे सरफेस से, इतना तो तय है अभी. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, we have to see the photon flux. Let the photon flux be n, means number of photons falling per second. That is the photon flux. So the total energy per second is given by number of photons falling per second into energy of each photon, that is 4 eV, is equal to the energy captured from the intensity definition. We can write it as intensity I into area. What is intensity? It is watt per meter square. So watt per meter square into meter square will give you watts. So energy per second. So here also we are getting total energy per second, because this is the number of photons falling per second and energy of photon. So here this is also energy per second, means watts. Now both sides are same. But here this is electron volts. So we have to convert this into joules. So we have to multiply with the charge of one electron. So this is n into 4 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 is equal to, intensity is given as 6.4 into 10 to the power of minus 5 watts per centimeter square. And how much area? It is 1 centimeter square. So into 1. That centimeter square gets cancelled. So again you will get SI units, watts. Now you simplify this, and from this you will get n value as 10 to the power of 14. What is this? Number of photons falling per second on the area, photon flux. Number of photons falling on the area per second. But it is given that 1 in 10 cube photons ejection electron, मतलब 1000 फोटॉन गिरेंगे तो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलता है. 10 cube photons में से एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलता है. That is the efficiency of the surface. Photo efficiency of the surface. That means if 10 cube photons are falling, one electron is ejected. But here we have 10 to the power of photons falling. So how many electrons ejected? 10 to the power of 14 by 10 cube. It is 10 power 11. It's given that this is equal to 10 power x. What is the value of x? Value of x is therefore 11. And since this is a numerical value type question, we should write this answer as 0011.00. So this is our answer. Okay. इसलिए मैं अगला क्वेश्चन देखिए. This is from electromagnetic induction, magnetic flux linked with an area under the influence of a magnetic field. A loop ABCDEFA of straight edges has 6 corner points. The coordinates are given. Coordinates of A, B, C, D, E, F are given in XYZ format. The magnetic field in this region is B bar is equal to 3 I cap plus 4 K cap Tesla. The quantity of flux through the loop ABCDEFA in Webers is. So basic formula for the magnetic flux linked with a area is given by magnetic flux phi B is equal to B bar dot A bar, where B bar is the magnetic field vector and A bar is the area vector. So now let us first try to draw a rough sketch of the area given. Let us consider the axis like this. This direction x axis I cap, y direction that is j cap, and vertically upward z direction that is k cap. And this is the origin. And point A is given as 0, 0, 0. So at the origin A. Then point B 5, 0, 0. So x axis coordinate 5, y 0, z 0. And coordinates of C 5, 5, 0 means x axis 5, y axis also 5, z axis 0. This is point C. Then point D 0, 5, 0 means x0, y 5, so 0, 5 and z 0. This is point D. Then point E is 0, 5, 5. X axis 0, y axis 5, z axis also 5. So this is that one. 0, 5, 5. This is E. And coordinates of F are 0, 0, 5. Means it is on z axis. X0, Y0, only z is 5. This is F. 0, 0, 5. So this is a surface like this and like this. And the area vector of this area is perpendicular to this area plane. And the area vector of this one is also perpendicular to this area, bottom area. You see the area vector of this surface and this surface, both are at right angles to y-axis or j cap. So they will not produce, if the magnetic field is having any component in the j direction, it will not produce any flux because it is a dot product. What is the magnetic field vector given? B bar is given as 3 I cap plus 4 k cap. 3 I cap plus 4 k cap. So anyway, j cap component is not there for B. Even if it is there also, that j cap component is not going to produce any flux with these two surfaces. Why? These two area vectors are at right angles to j cap. So in the dot product, that right angle means cosine becomes 0. So now let us write the area vectors. The area vector of this is perpendicular to this, means it is in the I direction. And this area times I cap. How much is the area? It is given that the side, here from here we can get it. This side is 5. This is also 5. So everywhere this is 5. So it is a square of 5. 5 into 5, 25. So area vector we can write it as area magnitude 5 into 5, 25. The area vector direction perpendicular in I direction. So I cap plus. Again the base area, again 5 into 5 square, that is 25. And vertically upward, that is k cap. Now the flux linked phi B is equal to B bar dot A bar. That is this dot product of these two. Simply multiply the I components, multiply the j components, multiply the k components. 3 into 25, 75. plus 4 into 25, 100. So this is 175 webers. Only this area vector interpretation is the critical point here. Otherwise, in the calculation, there is nothing. This is your answer, 175 webers. Again, this is also a numerical value type question. So you should report the answer as 0175.00. Okay. अगला क्वेश्चन देखिए, इसी स्टैंडर्ड में a long solenoid of radius r carries a time dependent current it is equal to I naught t into 1 minus t. A ring of radius 2r is placed coaxially near its middle. During the time interval 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 1, the induced current IR and the induced EMF VR in the ring change as we look at the options. In the options we have, from looking at the options, ये हमको ये पता चल जाता है, हमको ये फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा ये कितना समय पे करंट रिवर्स होगा और इसका ईएमएफ इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ 0 होगा. सारे ऑप्शंस में वही दिया गया है. तो लेट अस सी दिस नाउ. सबसे पहले क्या है, ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक इंडक्शन का क्वेश्चन है. ये लॉन्ग सोलेनॉइड है, तो सोलेनॉइड में करंट जा रहा है. तो सोलेनॉइड के अंदर अगर करंट जा रही है तो उसका सेंटर में फील्ड का फॉर्मूला क्या है, फील्ड इज इक्वल टू म्यू नॉट एन आई. फील्ड एट द सेंटर ऑफ द सोलेनॉइड इज गिवन बाय म्यू नॉट एन आई, where mu naught is the usual carry the usual meaning, and small n is the number of turns per unit length, and I is the current through the solenoid. But here the current through the solenoid is time dependent. It is given as mu naught n I naught t into 1 minus t. So this is how the magnetic field through the solenoid is changing, the center of the solenoid. Now a ring of radius 2r is placed coaxially near its middle. Now we have to find the induced EMF and induced current. So we have to use, first find the magnetic flux linked with the circular ring. It is B dot A. B is mu naught n I naught t minus t square. I took the t inside. And area of the ring is pi r square. R plus 2r is given. 2r whole square. So this gives 4 pi r square mu naught n I naught t minus t square. Now the induced EMF, we know it is given by Faraday's second law of electromagnetic induction, that is minus of d phi b by dt. So we have to find the derivative of this phi b. Simply here everything is constant, so only we have to find the derivative of this. From constant k into derivative of t with respect to time is 1, derivative of t square with respect to time is 2t. So this is the induced EMF with a minus sign. So now where this EMF becomes 0, we have to find. So this will give you simply 1 is equal to 2t or t is equal to half second. That means t is equal to 0.5 second. The EMF momentarily becomes 0, and naturally at that point the current changes its direction. Because see, when t is greater than half, then you will get a positive value here. So current क्या है? Current is equal to induced EMF by resistance of the circular ring. So as the E changes its polarity, the current also changes its direction. So when E, from a positive value, when t is less than half, this value is positive, so E is negative. When t is greater than half, then this value is negative and E becomes positive. That means E changing from positive to negative or negative to positive. At the point of changing, E becomes 0. So subsequently the current also, induced current also changes its direction. So the correct option here is at t is equal to 0.5, direction of IR reverses and VR is 0. I through the ring changes direction and V at R is 0 at this point where time is 0.5. Okay. Look at the next question. Two infinite planes, each with uniform surface charge density plus sigma, are kept in such a way that the angle between them is 30 degrees. The electric field in the region shown between them is given by. This is from electrostatics. So the diagram is given like this. There are two planes. Angle between them is 30 degrees. Both are given a surface charge density plus sigma and plus sigma. Because of this plus sigma here, the field here is away from the plate. So let us say this is E1 because of the plate 1. And this is also carrying plus sigma charge with charge density. So this here, the field is perpendicular to this plate 2, and because it is positive charge, the field is away like this. Let us say this is E2. Now we have to find E1 and E2 and vectorially add them. The options are also given in that manner in X, Y, Z coordinates. We know the electric field near a uniformly charged plane is given by sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So we can write here, it's also given that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis in the diagram itself. So because of this plate 1, the field E1 is along the positive y direction. So we can write the field E1 is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, the formula, and it is in the positive y direction, so j cap. And E2, to calculate E2 now, again it is the magnitude is sigma by 2 epsilon naught only. Same infinite plate, uniformly charged. But it is inclined at some angle. So let us find this angle so that we will resolve the component of E2 along x-axis and y-axis separately. So here this is 30 degrees, means this is 60, this is 30, this is 60. That means this is 60 degrees. Now this E2 cos 60 towards negative x direction, E2 sin 60 towards negative y direction. So we can write here that E2 magnitude is sigma by 2 epsilon naught and x direction component is cos 60. So minus cos 60 I cap. Cos 60 towards negative x direction, that is a minus I cap. And sin 60 j cap minus j cap because it is downward. That means this E2 has a component, vertical component like this, you say E2 y component, and horizontal component like this, E2 x component. This is negative x direction, this is negative y direction. So to find out the net field in this region, so we have to add these two vectorially. So the net field E is equal to vector sum of E1 and E2. That is sigma by 2 epsilon naught this is j cap. So here in place of j cap they have given y cap, and again here minus sin 60 y cap minus sin 60 y cap and minus cos 60 x cap. So you find the value of sin 60 and cos 60 and write it here. So it is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Cos 60 means 1 by 2. So minus 1 by 2 x cap. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. So 1 minus root 3 by 2 y cap. So this is your answer. इसी डिफिकल्ट लेवल में अगला क्वेश्चन देखिए. A satellite of mass m is launched vertically upwards with an initial speed u from the surface of the earth. After it reaches height r, where r is the radius of the earth, it ejects a rocket of mass m by 10 so that subsequently the satellite moves in a circular orbit. The kinetic energy of the rocket is, we have to find the kinetic energy of the rocket after ejection. It is given g is the gravitational constant, capital M is the mass of the earth. This is a problem from gravitation 11th class syllabus. In this question, this is a bit lengthy question, थोड़ा लेंथी है, ज्यादा टाइम टेकिंग है, क्योंकि इसमें दो कॉन्सेप्ट अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, दो सब कॉन्सेप्ट अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी एंड लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम, दोनों। इसी वजह से आप पहले छानबीन करेंगे क्वेश्चन पेपर के, इस टाइप की क्वेश्चंस को आप आइडेंटिफाई करके रख सकते हैं, ताकि अगर बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लास्ट में आपके पास बच गया तभी इस टाइप की क्वेश्चंस आपको अटेम्प्ट करने का, अदरवाइज इसको छोड़ने का है। ओके, नाउ लेट अस सी हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम। सैटेलाइट of mass m launched with velocity u from the surface of the earth, radius r, mass of the earth is m, and this satellite goes into the orbit at a height r again from the surface. Just orbit में जाने के बाद this satellite ejects a rocket of mass m by 10. मतलब ये सैटेलाइट से एक छोटा हिस्सा अलग होकर रॉकेट के रूप में बाहर चला गया, बाकी हिस्सा रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ द रॉकेट सैटेलाइट दैट इज 9m/10 मास, इट ऑर्बिट्स इन द ऑर्बिट, इट्स गिवन लाइक दैट। ऑर्बिट्स मींस ऑर्बिटल वेलोसिटी होना चाहिए उसको। ऑर्बिट्स एक वर्ड जो है उससे हमको दो चीज समझ में आएगा। नंबर वन, इट मूव्स इन द सर्कुलर ऑर्बिट, सो इट शुड हैव ऑर्बिटल वेलोसिटी एंड द वेलोसिटी इज ऑलवेज टैंजेंशियल टू द सर्कुलर पाथ एट एवरी पॉइंट। ये दो चीज इसमें समझना पड़ेगा। अभी हम क्या करते हैं, यहां से सैटेलाइट ऑफ मास m निकला विथ वेलोसिटी u, और जस्ट बिफोर एक्सपल्शन ऑफ द रॉकेट, रॉकेट बाहर निकलने से पहले पूरा सैटेलाइट का वेलोसिटी ऑर्बिट में पहुंचने के तुरंत है, लेट अस से इट इज v। सो ये सिचुएशन और ये सिचुएशन, ये दोनों का बीच में हम लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी ड्रॉ करेंगे। क्या सिचुएशन, सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ, वेलोसिटी u, entire satellite mass m, just in the orbit, entire satellite of mass m, velocity v। ये दोनों पॉइंट के बीच में पहले लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी इस्तेमाल करेंगे। लेट अस सी, बाय लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इज गिवन बाय माइनस ऑफ gmm by r, that is the radius of the orbit, plus kinetic energy of the satellite half m u square. This is the energy, total energy on the surface. Now total energy in the orbit just before the impulse is equal to minus gmm entire satellite, but अभी उसका डिस्टेंस सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ से कितना हो गया, r plus r, 2r हो गया, so we have to write here 2r, and kinetic energy half m v square. So this is the law of conservation of energy. इसको हम सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो ऐसा आएगा, ये माइनस gm by r multiply with 2, then you get 2 here, plus u square is equal to minus gm by r plus v square. हमको v square का निकालना पड़ेगा यहाँ से, v square is equal to u square minus 2gm by r plus gm by r. So that is u square minus 2gm plus gm, that is minus gm by r. So this is v square. So law of conservation of energy से हम वेलोसिटी ऑफ द सैटेलाइट जस्ट बिफोर द इंपल्स, मतलब रॉकेट निकलने से पहले ऑर्बिट में जाने के बाद कितना है, उसके लिए एक फॉर्मूला हमने निकाला है, v स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू u स्क्वायर माइनस gm by r। इसको अलग से यहाँ लिखेंगे, v स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू u स्क्वायर माइनस gm by r, लेट अस से इक्वेशन 1। अभी हमको क्या करना है, ये इंपल्स के बारे में भी डिस्कस करेंगे। इंपल्स मतलब क्या है, ड्यू टू इंटरनल फोर्सेस सैटेलाइट से एक छोटा हिस्सा रॉकेट के रूप में अलग हो गया, बाकी हिस्सा ऑर्बिट करने लगा, ऐसा घूमने लगा। तो यहाँ पे हम लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम अप्लाई करेंगे। क्यों, इंपल्स के दौरान जो फोर्सेस निकलेंगे, दोज फोर्सेस आर इंटरनल फोर्सेस, एंड इंटरनल फोर्सेस कैन नॉट चेंज द लीनियर मोमेंटम ऑफ द सिस्टम।
That is how we can apply law of conservation of linear momentum here. But problem क्या है, again हमको यहाँ पे LCLM दो डायरेक्शन में अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि एक टेंजेंशियल कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ वेलोसिटीज है, रेडियल कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ वेलोसिटीज है, बिफोर इंपल्स एंड आफ्टर इंपल्स. तो इसलिए हमको दोनों डायरेक्शन में LCLM का इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा, रेडियल डायरेक्शन एंड टेंजेंशियल डायरेक्शन. लेट अस सी नाउ. Now let us apply law of conservation of linear momentum in radial direction. रेडियल डायरेक्शन में पूरा सैटेलाइट v वेलोसिटी के साथ ऐसा जा रही है बिफोर इंपल्स. सो इनिशियल मोमेंटम इज m into v एंड आफ्टर द इंपल्स, मतलब रॉकेट अलग होने के बाद फिर रेडियल डायरेक्शन में क्या है, दैट इज इंपल्स के बाद का मोमेंटम यहां लिखेंगे. दिस इज इनिशियल मोमेंटम, लीनियर मोमेंटम, दिस इज फाइनल लीनियर मोमेंटम इन रेडियल डायरेक्शन. अभी इंपल्स के बाद ये 9m/10 का हिस्सा जो है वो टेंजेंशियली जा रहा है, तो उसका रेडियल कंपोनेंट कुछ नहीं रहता है. Whereas this rocket is moving in a velocity which is having components both in tangential direction and radial direction. So ये वाला रेडियल कंपोनेंट जो है ये हम लिखेंगे, क्योंकि ये 9m/10 का रेडियल का कुछ नहीं है. चाहे तो लिख सकते हैं 9m/10 बाकी हिस्सा का सैटेलाइट, उसका रेडियल वेलोसिटी 0 प्लस रॉकेट m/10 उसकी रेडियल वेलोसिटी हमने लिया v रेडियल. सो इससे हमको एक रिलेशन आता है vr m/10 m कैंसिल करेंगे तो यू विल गेट vr इज इक्वल टू 10v. ये एक और इक्वेशन आया हमारे पास. तो इसको अगर स्क्वायर करेंगे तो क्या आएगा, vr स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 100v स्क्वायर. इसको अलग से लिखेंगे, तो इसको यहां लिखता हूं v रेडियल स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 100v स्क्वायर. ये हो गया हमारा दूसरा इक्वेशन. अभी रेडियल हो गया. अभी टेंजेंशियल डायरेक्शन में LCLM. इंपल्स के पहले पूरा सैटेलाइट जो है रेडियल डायरेक्शन में जा रही है. इसका मतलब टेंजेंशियल डायरेक्शन में इनिशियली कोई मोमेंटम नहीं है, 0. और इंपल्स के बाद टेंजेंशियल में 9m/10 का हिस्सा उसका वेलोसिटी v ऑर्बिटल है. So 9m/10 into velocity v orbital plus m/10 रॉकेट जो है उसका वेलोसिटी है v टेंजेंशियल. तो इससे हमको m/10 कैंसिल करेंगे, v टेंजेंशियल इज इक्वल टू -9v ऑर्बिटल ऐसा आएगा. ये माइनस साइन का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? सो यहाँ पे ये रॉकेट एक्सप्लोशन होने के बाद, बाहर निकलने के बाद बाकी हिस्सा सैटेलाइट का एक डायरेक्शन में जाएगा, तो रॉकेट दूसरा डायरेक्शन में रहेगा उसका टेंजेंशियल मोमेंटम. दैट इज व्हाट दिस नेगेटिव साइन सिग्निफाइज. एंड -9 ऑर्बिटल वेलोसिटी का फॉर्मूला हमें मालूम है, वो क्या है, √m/r, वेयर r इज द टोटल रेडियस ऑफ द ऑर्बिट. सो -9 √gm/, यहाँ रेडियस ऑफ ऑर्बिट क्या है, r + r, 2r लिखना पड़ेगा. तो दिस इज 2r. अगर इसको स्क्वायर करेंगे तो क्या होगा, vt स्क्वायर मैग्नीट्यूड वाइज यू विल गेट 81 gm/2r. ओके, तो ए इक्वेशन को भी हम यहां लिखेंगे, vt स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 81/2 gm/r. दिस इज द थर्ड इक्वेशन. अभी हम ये तीनों इक्वेशन सॉल्व करके रॉकेट का वेलोसिटी फाइंड करना पड़ेगा. एक बार रॉकेट का वेलोसिटी आ जाएगा तो रॉकेट का काइनेटिक एनर्जी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. अभी देखिए, अभी ये तीनों इक्वेशन यूज करके हम रॉकेट की काइनेटिक एनर्जी फाइंड करेंगे. तो रॉकेट की काइनेटिक एनर्जी फाइंड करने के लिए हमको वेलोसिटी ऑफ रॉकेट चाहिए. उसके लिए vr एंड vt दोनों चाहिए. देन वी विल यूज v rocket square is equal to vr square plus vt square. So now let us see from these first 1 and 2 equations 1 and 2 we can write velocity, radial velocity of the rocket square is equal to 100 v square. That is 100 v square की जगह हम ये लिखेंगे u square minus gm/r.
that is 100 u square minus 100 gm by r.
Right?
Then tangential velocity, square of the tangential velocity is 81 by 2 gm by r. If you want to find the square of the velocity of the rocket, then it is Vr square plus Vt square. That is 100 u square minus 100 gm by r plus 81 by 2 gm by r. This simplifies to 100 u square minus 119 gm by 2r. Okay, so this is the velocity of rocket square. But actually we have to find the kinetic energy of the rocket. Kinetic energy of the rocket is half into mass of the rocket is m by 10 into square of the velocity of the rocket, that is 100 u square minus 119 by 2 gm by r. If you take out 100 outside, 100 by 20 will give you 5. 5m u square minus, because you have taken 100 outside, you should write 200 here. 119 by 200 gm by r. So this is the correct option. देखा, ज्यादा टाइम लग गया और बहुत सारे इंट्रिकेट कॉन्सेप्ट्स यूज करना पड़ा, तो इसीलिए ऐसा क्वेश्चंस को ज्यादा टाइम बच गया तभी लेने का. अगला क्वेश्चन देखिए. दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन इन दिस डिफिकल्ट लेवल. It is from electrostatics capacitance. A parallel plate capacitor has plates of area A separated by distance d. Between them it is filled with a dielectric which has a dielectric constant that varies as k of x is equal to k into 1 plus alpha x, where x is the distance measured from one of the plates. If alpha d, product alpha d is too smaller than 1, the total capacitance of the system is best given by the expression. So this is from simple, concept is simple, that is parallel plate capacitor capacitance. Simple formula is epsilon naught A by D. If a dielectric is filled, simply k times epsilon naught A by D. But here the dielectric field is of variable dielectric constant. So a mathematical interpretation will come, integration and further maybe use of infinite series also you will have to do. That is why we categorize this in difficult category. Let us see now. So this is the capacitor with two plates, each area A. Distance between the plates is d, and here the dielectric is varying according to the equation k of x is equal to k into 1 plus alpha x from one of the plates. So we have to consider a small strip region here, say of width dx at a distance x from one of the plates. Now let us find the capacitance of this strip, considering this as a parallel plate capacitor. So simple formula is the capacitance of that small strip, that is DC, small strip, is, what is the formula we use? K times epsilon naught A by D, where K is the dielectric constant but it is variable given as K into 1 plus alpha x. So we will write that K into 1 plus alpha x, epsilon naught A, because area is same everywhere. We are not cutting the area, only we are cutting the distance. In place of D, we write dx, distance between the two plates for the small capacitor, infinitesimally small capacitor. So here we write, in place of D, we write dx. Such type of small capacitors can be made right from here, starting end, to the final end.
small capacitors. And all these capacitors, they are connected in series because the same current is passing through. They are connected in series. So in series, how we find the effective capacitance of several capacitors? It is 1 by C series is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus so on. Here there are infinitesimally many capacitors. So we approximate this as sigma of 1 by C. And that too it is a continuous distribution. So we can make this sigma as integral sign. So this 1 by C series is equal to integral of 1 by that small capacitance of the strip what we have taken as DC. And the limits are x value varying from 0 to D. 0 to D. That is equal to 1 by DC. So this dx will go up. Dx by k 1 plus alpha x epsilon naught integral 0 to D. Performing this integration, take out the constants outside. K epsilon naught a can be taken outside. So 1 by epsilon naught a k taken outside. Integral of dx by 1 plus alpha x is log base e ln 1 plus alpha x, and we have to write the derivative of 1 plus alpha x here, that is alpha. And the limits are now 0 to D. So this will come to, when you substitute D here, you will get 1 plus alpha D ln. And when you substitute 0 here, ln 1. So the lower limit will become ln 1 0. So you need not consider the lower limit. Simply this is 1 by epsilon naught a k alpha ln 1 plus alpha D. In fact, this would have sufficed, but the options are not given in this format. It is given that the value of alpha d is 2 smaller than 1. That gives a suggestion that we may have to go for a infinite series expansion of this logarithmic function. We know that ln of 1 plus x is expanded as x minus x squared by 2 plus x cubed by 3 minus so on. That is the infinite series expansion. So in this format, if you expand ln 1 plus alpha d, you will get alpha d minus alpha square d square by 2. ln 1 plus alpha d is equal to alpha d minus alpha square d square by 2. Neglect the higher order powers because it is given that alpha d is 2 smaller than 1. So this is what we are going to write here further. So this is equal to 1 by epsilon naught a k alpha. In place of ln 1 plus alpha d, we write alpha d minus alpha square d square by 2. So take out alpha d common, then alpha and alpha gets cancelled. You will have d here, d by epsilon naught a k. So this is equal to d by epsilon naught a k 1 minus alpha d by 2. 1 minus alpha d by 2. But what actually we want? We want C series. So reciprocal of this we have to take. This is 1 by C series. So C series is equal to, reciprocal of this is epsilon naught a k by d 1 by, that is 1 minus alpha d by 2 power minus 1. Can write. Again you apply the binomial expansion rules. So 1 minus x power minus 1 will give you 1 plus x, higher order powers neglected. So this will reduce to epsilon naught a k by d into 1 plus alpha d by 2. So this is the required capacitance of this capacitor. Okay. there is a lot of requirement for the invoking of the mathematics knowledge, integration, expansion of series, again binomial theorem expansions. So that is this question also is characterized as difficult question. So ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा और बहुत टाइम बच गया तभी आपको लेने का, otherwise avoid such questions. Okay.